Hi and welcome back to the program. In this video we're going to be using MongoDB with Python here through PyCharm. So I've created a new project called Terminal Blog, and this is just a normal new project like we created in the last section. You can create a new virtual environment for it so that you receive a new clean install of Python, and once you do that you are essentially ready to start a new project with a new clean install, nothing installed on it, so that you can only put there whatever you need for your new project. So I've created a new virtual environment for this project, and then we're going to move on and get started with MongoDB through Python. So first things first, let's create our app.py file. And this file is going to essentially act as the starting point of our program, and for now in this video we're just going to be writing some code here to test whether we can access MongoDB through Python and how we can do that. So the first thing we have to do is import and use a library called pymongo for Python Mongo, and in order to be able to use this library we of course have to install it first. So if you create a new file called requirements.txt, as we know, and in it put pymongo = 3.0.3, which is the latest version, you can always check that by going to the preferences, clicking the add symbol, and type pymongo, and 3.0.3 is the latest version. So I've got good memory. Excellent. pymongo 3.0.3, then go back to your app, and then it tells you to install it. So we do that, and now we're ready to continue developing. So import pymongo, and now we are ready to begin. So the first thing you have to make sure of is that you have a MongoDB server running. So I've just opened a console here, and I'm going to type MongoD, and then this starts my MongoDB server running on port 27017. And the address for this MongoDB server is the local host, the current machine that is running, which is always 127.0.0.1. So the address of the MongoDB instance, the URI, is MongoDB : / the server : the port. So 127.0.0.1 is the server name, the address, and 27017 is the port number, i.e. exactly where on this server we're connecting to. And then we can also give it some more data through this URI if we wanted to, but that's a bit more advanced, so we're not going to do that just in this video. If you're really interested, you can have a look at the documentation online, but it's not necessary to do anything else with this URI. And then we're going to initialize the MongoDB client. So a client has access to all the different databases in your MongoDB instance. So right now we only have one database. So if I open another tab here and type Mongo, and then I type show DBs, we've got all our databases, and we're going to be using the full stack database here. All the others are my own, so we will not be using them just yet. So the full stack database is the one we're going to be using. First of all, we create a client, which is pymongo.mongoclient, and here we give it the address of the database, so the URI in this case. Then we type the database is going to be client, and then inside square brackets and inside quotation marks we type the name of the database that we're accessing, so in this case full stack. And now the collection that we want to put things into, the posts collection, if I remember correctly, use full stack show collections, the students collection equals database students. And now we would be able to put some data in this collection, or find some data from this collection. So collection dot find, like so, would find all of the data in the collection, and we can say students equals collection dot find, and then say print students. And now this is not going to do exactly what we would expect, because it prints out a pymongo.cursor object at a memory address. So this is not really the students that are in our database, but rather this cursor object is something that points to the first element of our database, and then we can use it to move on to the next element or on to the following element and so on. So it starts at the very beginning of our collection, and we can use it to move on to the following elements so as to iterate them or move over them and do stuff with them. So what we have to do really is say for student in students print student, and this will actually print the students out. So here we can see this is the first and the only student in our database that we created in the last video. So possibly against what we had originally intended, we're not going to be creating anything related to students in this section. So instead we're going to be creating, as I said before, a blog that runs on the terminal. That is so that we can get acquainted with creating different posts and creating a blog and then putting some content in each and doing what's known as object-oriented programming with these things. So we're going to scrape this students collection and instead create a posts collection, and we're going to put some sample data in it in the very next video, and then we're going to see how we can, what sort of things we can do with it. So I'll see you in the next video.